What is up, guys? It's Abe Von Doom coming at you from Brooklyn, New York at the Bombs Mahal. As usual, I am your host, Abe Von Doom. With me is
Billy Bombs.
And today we are going to talk about something very near and dear to my fucking heart. No comic books, no fucking metal. Today, well, not today, but this week marked the 20-year anniversary of one of my favorite systems. Not my favorite of all time, but it's something that was really awesome when I was a kid, and that is the Nintendo 64 entertainment system. It came out on June 23rd, 1996, 20 years ago. That's fucking crazy. I can't fucking believe it, and I feel like I'm 800 years old.
You were 10.
Yeah, I was still 10.
You turned 11 in October, because we're like 2 weeks apart.
Yeah. So,
I was 11.
Do you remember when it came out? Did you have one?
No. Only the rich kid I was friends with had one.
Yeah,
like, he was like, "Why are you here?" I was like, "To play Star Fox."
Yeah. So, all right. Before
not for your friendship.
So let's get some like quick factoids here. So it was fully unveiled to the public in a playable form on November 24, 1995 at the 7th Annual Shoshinkai Software Exhibition in Japan, which is a really long fucking sentence. Released in June 96 in Japan, I already told you that. It was the industry's last major home console to use the cartridge as its primary storage format, which is fucking crazy. I can't believe they even use fucking cartridges at this point because everything is fucking CDs. It was retired in 2003, which I don't even remember it being around that long. That's a fucking long-ass time. It was basically...
but that's how far behind Nintendo was.
That's fucking crazy.
No, just think about it like that. Like, everybody else was already working on the PlayStation 2. And think about it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
discs.
PS2,
and then the GameCube came out. It's about this size.
Yeah, approximately. You're kind of right. I don't remember when the GameCube came out, but I think...
No, it was like 2005 probably.
No. I think I was still in high school. When
but you were stupid. You were in high school for a while.
I did, yeah. No, I remember I remember when the PS2 came out, it was fucking crazy, and then my friend who was obsessed with eBay found it. I don't know if it had come out already. I don't remember if it was, but it was fucking $700 on fucking eBay. The
it's
PS2,
just $20 now. It's like,
dude, but the PS2
didn't appreciate that well.
All right, so let's talk some shit. So it primarily competed with the PlayStation and Sega Saturn. I love this PlayStation. That's like number 2 for me. But
Tenchu.
That's fucking everything, man. That shit fucking...
I played Tenchu and Tony Hawk.
They had fucking Grandia. It had fucking Wild Arms. They had Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9. I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy 8. Jesus Christ. What else was there? Legend of Legaia. Fucking Legend of Dragoon. That's fucking PlayStation 1 tangent. Let me stop.
Focus.
So yeah, it was released with only 2 fucking games, which was Mario 64, which is what I got it for, and Pilot Wing 64, which I forgot fucking existed. And there was another third game called Saikyo Habushogi, but that was released in Japan. I don't even fucking know what that is. So I'm not even gonna fucking pretend. So that's like the quick rundown of that. I mean, I have some specs. So the CPU is a 64-bit NEC VR4300 at 93.75 megahertz. For anybody who knows what the fuck that means, when you compare that to the Wii U, just look at the fucking numbers. The CPU for the Wii U is a 1.24 gigahertz tri-core IBM PowerPC Espresso. So that's fucking crazy. When you look at the fucking specs, nobody's gonna care. I know some people will, but whatever. I like to fucking look at shit like that. But that's fucking cool. It shows you how far we've gone with in terms of technology. Now, so to the fucking part that I want to talk about, what the 64 meant to me.
Well, with all those gigawatts and whatever,
yeah.
If you got up to 88 miles per hour, can you go back in time?
I assure you that
with those numbers, I just want to start laughing. It's hard to hold back.
There's actually a flux capacitor inside the Wii U. That's actually the only selling point because everything else is fucking terrible. But
flux capacitor? What the hell are you talking about?
What? You don't know what a flux capacitor is?
I know what a flux capacitor is. I know it has nothing to do with gaming. Time travel, I know everything about. This shit, I'm
1.21 gigawatts, bro. 1.24 gigawatts right now. Here, we can go back in time, bro.
Yeah, a lot of shit to fix.
Anyways, yeah. So
going back in time, looking like this. I used to be just like a clean cut barely any tattoos, like kind of a nerd, scared of everything. And it'd be kind of funny if I showed up dressed like this now. I'm like, oh my god, you gotta change everything. Nothing has worked out. Nothing. All is lost. All is lost.
That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna fucking go back and
run from that chick. Don't listen to him. He's an idiot.
You just reminded me of The Simpsons when Lisa's like, oh, just because. No. I'm lying. The fucking part where he like breaks into the guy's car and he's just like, oh, I'm a big fat guy, but I gotta go out. I gotta see He just fucking reminded me.
Just because my dad's a big fat, so it doesn't mean he's like a hungry maniac. And he's like eating ice cream while driving by the
raspberry. So I
focus.
I just remember like I'm just thinking of like a young Billy and you're just like and then you're fucking like crazy ass.
I'm gonna break through the glass. Come in. That guy lived on the first floor. Man.
So this fucking system, I remember it was only $199, which is really fucking cheap when you compare it to like the systems now. It was supposed to come out at $250, but I remember when this came out and my sister bought it. I remember my sister bought it and I remember coming home and then setting it up. And it came with Super Mario 64, and it was really, like everyone was waiting for this to come out. I was a poor ass kid, so I only had like the NES and shit like that, and the Sega. I didn't have like much shit. That's basically it, and everything I had was only like 2 or 3 games. But when the 64 came out, I remember plugging it in, putting in Super Mario 64. And then seeing the little fucking logo pop up. And then seeing Super Mario, who you only fucking played 2 fucking D platform game in fucking 3 dimensions and being like, this must be what heaven is like. This has to be what heaven is like, right? You're playing on that weird fucking controller, which was like, 3, whatever. I wish I had it on me. I fucking whatever. But
nobody would sell it to us because they survived. Like every thrift store, they never made it to thrift stores.
It's hard to find.
You could drop like a fridge on them, and they're okay.
Well, yeah. That was the thing. Like those, like it was a really fucking rugged fucking.
And people
system.
kept them.
Yeah. I mean, you can find them. Like
all the anything Nintendo people kept. Except Nintendo, Super Nintendo, those sold in the millions.
Yeah.
But the Wii U, GameCube, I never see those like secondhand ever. Like, the only place you see them secondhand is GameStop, and GameStop sucks.
And I don't even think GameStop carries them anymore.
No, they only do. The farthest they go back is PS. They don't even go back to PS.
No, I don't even think. I don't. Yeah. I barely go into GameStop because they're fucking terrible. I at this point, I fucking most of the time I'm on fucking Steam. Like honestly, Steam is like it's basically a service that you open it up and you basically can download the games onto your PC.
That's cool.
So then you just play them like that. So they have like, you just buy it online and then you download it and then you can play it on your shit. There's a lot of really good like independent games and shit like that you could play that isn't like main market games. So
that's why I need some guy who has an independent game with
it's fucking awesome.
With conspiracy theories attached to it. Yeah. What if the aliens did attack Earth?
Yeah, we're discussing this like 2 fucking old men. But yeah, I remember fucking playing that, and it just was like so surreal when you're a kid and you're playing Super Mario, who's always been 2D in this like shitty fucking like 8-bit fucking world, and even Super Nintendo, which was decent, but that wasn't 3D. Like that was fucking crazy, and I didn't have a PS1. And that came out, I think, May 95 or something like that. I think it was out already when.
I never even had a PS1.
Yeah, I did.
I bought it. PS2 was the first game I bought. First game console I bought myself. PS1, I think 95. Holy shit!
Yeah, it came out like May 95 or something.
I was 10 and you were 9.
Yeah.
I think that's what I met you in elementary school.
Stop fucking dating us, bro. Like, fuck.
What?
Man.
You need fossil fuel, bro? What are you? Letting all come around me to 7. Now we're old, man. We're younger than most, older than others. Shit happens.
Yeah, we're millennials.
Make the rest of your life. No, we are not.
We definitely are millennials.
That's the definition of it.
Absolutely, we're Generation Y, bro.
Like, why am I alive?
Yeah, yes. Why am I alive in fucking D? Yeah, we're Generation Y, bro. Millennials.
Why did I miss all the cartridges? Why did I miss all the good drugs back in the day? Why did I miss the gang life for New York City? And now it's like all hipsterville.
Yeah.
And the worst part is I'm more annoyed by them because at least I can fight the gangs. I can physically fight back. This one I got to write to my congressperson.
You can physically fight hipsters.
Not when they write you letters. Not when they try to serve you bagels on the street, man.
You remember?
I was like, I'm allergic to green cheese. They're like, we have soy.
Oh, we have kale chips. So
you ate them all.
Yeah, I mean, what's
you ate all the kale?
they're just gonna. You're gonna hit him in the face. He's gonna come back with a shitty protest. That's what's gonna happen. It reminds me of suburban.
Hell no, Billy's got to go.
It reminds me of fucking suburban.
I'd be down for any protest if at least he carried an American flag when they're just be somewhat patriotic. You know what I mean? Like everybody protests and they're just not into us anymore.
I know.
I've seen guys carry British flags at protests. I'm like, where are you from?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I've seen like dumb shit.
All right, we're getting way off fucking topic.
I'm sorry, man. It's been a busy weekend. Gay Pride this weekend. A lot of stuff's going on.
Yeah. So fucking what was I saying? Back to Nintendo 64. Yeah. So this fucking console, I didn't have a lot of games for it. I most of the stuff I played was secondhand, like it was in fucking 90s, like before what it is now.
Yeah, that was awesome back in the day buying games from. What was the name of the store before it became GameStop?
Funkoland.
Funkoland. They used to have a newspaper, and in the newspaper, they would tell you how much everything's worth, what they would buy from you, and how much it would be. Yeah. So you always know how much it would be when you get to the store.
Yeah. So that I remember that. That was always fucking shitty because they still gave you a shitty amount of money. It was just like the commercial, and then you'd be like, it had like a block, and then there was hands coming out, and they'd be like, you give us these, and it'll be like fucking games, and then it's like, we'll give you these, and it pulls out like a pen. They give you like $2 fucking.
Was it like the tabs that we used to collect in elementary school? You'd carry like 1,000,000 tabs, like from bottle cans and all stuff. You'd carry like 3,000 of them, and it was like, here's a pen.
No, this is like literally like GameStop still.
I am dating myself. Terrible. I don't even know what they do anymore. Terrible. Yeah. I don't even know what kids do these days.
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't have like a lot of games, but I played like a ton of games. The 64 for me, like the reason I got the Sony, Sony PlayStation 1, PSX, whatever you want to call it, was because the 64 was like a huge letdown for me. Like all the games were like meh. There was no RPG games, which fucking bummed me out.
But would you get multiple cartridges for them? Is that why?
No, like I remember Final Fantasy VII came out, and they weren't able to make it for 64 because they were like, dude, it would have ended up being like, I think if I remember right, I remember reading the Game Informer back then. It was like it would have been like 10 cartridges.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because the cartridge can only hold so much compared to a CD.
Yeah, and
weren't you telling me about like video games themselves, the ones they were putting out? Companies were no longer going to make cartridges, no matter what.
So I remember back then. I remember like a lot of people bitching. From what I remember, like third-party developers were complaining about it. I can't remember if that was exactly right or not. I was trying to look for it, but yeah, the thing is that they had like a really good year between 96, I think, and 97, and then they sold a shit ton. It was like 3.6 million units. And then, but after that, everything dwindled because they stopped fucking releasing a lot of games. It was like I said, the game was only released with 2 games, 3 in Japan, and it just stopped. And then every fucking good game was coming out from fucking Sony, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, don't get me wrong, they had amazing fucking games. Like, my favorite game, I don't know what my favorite game for 64 is. It's either Ocarina of Time, because that's like one of the greatest games of all time. Fucking Star Fox. One of my favorite games, fucking Turok, fucking Dinosaur Hunter.
Terrible comic book, great game.
It was so good. I fucking realized like much later on that it was a comic book. It looked really bad. It sounded really bad, but as a fucking game,
how's a Dinosaur Hunter bad?
That game,
you ride raptors.
That's fucking awesome, dude. And he didn't even ride raptors. He was just a fucking like Indian guy, American Indian dude with a fucking satchel. That fucking, he was able to carry like 87 fucking weapons. So you'd be like, hey, I got a fucking pistol. And he's just like, oh, hey, my satchel. I got a fucking chronoscepter and a nuclear fucking like destruction fucking gun. So anyways, yeah, this fucking, that
How big was the scepter?
No, it was the chronoscepter. So it was a gun. It was a gun. So you would go in game and then there would be pieces of the chronoscepter in every level. Okay. So that towards the end of the game, you'd have this, it was like a weapon that fucked with time. So that was the whole thing. Like the last boss was, I think, trying to get the chronoscepter and fuck with time, and that was the whole fucking base. It was just, you know how it is, gun games that are fucking, they just want a reason to fucking kill everything. And Turok was fucking
and back
amazing.
to time travel arguments.
Yeah. It was so fucking cool. Yeah. It was like me trying to go back and fucking punch myself in the face for ever being born. So, like, but what was I saying? The fucking, it was just a fucking, like, but the games that were good were fucking great. GoldenEye.
Yeah, that's a great game. I remember because you could play 4 people that we would play at everybody's house.
Dude, that's how it was.
And
it was before
you can't even do that in new systems.
Yeah, no,
you have to play online
some of them do. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if they do that now. I think
no. You have to be online to play a 4-player.
Yo, that shit is fucking...
That's bullshit, man.
Is fucking retarded. I remember fucking doing, like, Call of Duty, and we couldn't fucking do shit. Like, you can't... Wah! Anyways, so I, like... So this fucking system, I mean, it was... At least for me, like, the way I see it, it was kind of like the end of, like, where where Nintendo started fucking up for me. Like, all their first party games, like the games that they made themselves, were really fucking good. Like, a lot of them. Like all the Super Marios were always good. Zelda, like Majora's Mask, and
Superman 64.
Why would you fucking mention that horrible game?
Hey, you can't. It wasn't all good in the hood, man.
Dude, it was so bad, but like at least in my opinion, most of the games, in my opinion, most of the games were pretty bad. Like I didn't like Forsaken. I had a fighting game called. I had a fucking game called Fighter's Destiny, the worst fighting game ever. It was fucking awful, so bad. But you know, like I said, there was good games for it. I mean,
what was your top 5 games for 64?
Top 5, probably Ocarina of Time, Turok, GoldenEye, Star Fox 64. That was such a good fucking game. And number 5, oh man, I want to say Majora's Mask because it's Zelda Majora's Mask. Those are probably my top 5 that I can remember.
You played a lot of games that are like that one.
I know, but those at least 5 were amazing. I mean, the system was just when you when you play that fucking system, it's amazing. It kind of like fell off for me after like a few years, and then I just fucking bought a PS1 because I was like,
well, whatever. My question is like, why weren't they thinking ahead with a lot of stuff? Because like PS1 didn't connect to the internet, but PS2 did to some degree. Like, I don't think none of those cartridges could play on it, right?
So what happened was if you remember, they fucking had the 64 DD. I remember fucking reading this in Game Informer and being like, holy shit. So the 64 DD was this block, this accessory that they were fucking developing that if you ever had a 64, if you turned it over, there was a slot underneath that you would open up, and there was a slot for something that would connect in there. So that was for the 64 DD. I don't know if they were developing it beforehand, but they were supposed to come out. And the 64 DD, which stood for 64 disk drive, had it was supposed to be like their answer to CD-ROM games. So because the reason that they picked the cartridges, which a lot of people thought was kind of stupid, at least when I was a kid, everybody fucking still thought it was dumb. It was faster. So if you ever played the Sega Saturn or the Sony PlayStation, there was a lot of loading times. So to go to like if I'm playing Final Fantasy and I have to go somewhere else, it'll fucking load for like 800 years. That was a big issue. Like for them, it was about having like a lot of function, and so they thought, in their opinion, that given the problems with CD-ROMs, with loading times and stuff like that, cartridges were faster in general, like in terms of refresh rate and just being able to play the game. No loading times. There was no loading times on 64, which is great, because if you played PS1, the fucking loading times would make you want to fucking whip your head off.
But what about when you play a game? Was there a save section, or do you have to start all over like every other cartridge game?
So from what I remember, they had like the little memory cards. So like PlayStation 1 had the fucking 8 megabyte.
Yeah, but that was on disc.
Megabyte. That's the PS2. What?
Disc? No, they were disc games though.
No, the disc games you couldn't save on them. The disc games you needed the memory card. Like
no, I understand the memory card, but the cartridge doesn't seem like something that could just jump right where you left off.
No, from what I remember, I can't remember because it's been so long. But you could say
20 years was a long time ago, man.
They used to have the memory cards that you would, instead of like this PS1 to click it into the system, you would put it in the back of the controller. But those sucked. Oh, those sucked. I can't tell you how many times I lost my fucking data. I can't fucking tell you how many times I had to fucking start games over again. Oh my god, it was so fucking annoying. Anyways, so this just turned into a 20-year anniversary of me bashing. This is like my
that's why I'm just like I feel like Rocket Raccoon. I'm like, give me the money.
Yeah, like so there was like a lot of stuff with the cartridges that you were able to, it was just for them they was more convenient, but I think towards the end it ended up being worse. Like for them, they didn't develop as many games. The first party games were really good, but the third party games were like most of them were bad, and eventually they kind of just fizzled. Like they had that 1 year between 96 and 97, and they just raped everybody. And then after that, I think they kept winning for a while, but then it just fell off. And I think, at least for me, I lost interest as I got older. I was just like, this sucks.
Did you ever buy a GameCube right after?
I did buy a GameCube. That is the last system that I paid for.
Well, you're not gonna get the Wii when you have to sit there and just be.
No.
Because it was for exercise, but you kept telling me you just sit there and go like this.
Yeah. The boxing.
I just love that we're both doing this in this video.
So
I feel like I'm at a bocce class.
But yeah, I mean, I still have really awesome memories with the 64. I mean, when Ocarina of Time came out, that was like an entire weekend of no sleep. That was Friday to Sunday, or like Friday to Saturday, just like zombie in front of the fucking screen, because I was waiting for that game. Everybody was. It was so fucking good, and it's like when you're fucking, that memory when you're a kid and you're in the dark and you're playing a fucking game, and I just did that from fucking Friday to like Sunday, just straight up playing, trying to get all the fucking gems, and it just was a fucking awesome experience. Like, I was disappointed in the 64, but I still had awesome memories from when it first came out, from when I first got it, and all the fucking good games were
how excited you were before when it was
good.
coming out. And all that
Yeah.
And then you had a good time with the games they had. You made the best of the rest of them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I am like, I don't want to make it a bashing session. It's the 20th anniversary. It's still
happy 20th. System. You're a loser.
Yeah, it's 20 years old, which I can't believe. And I don't know. It's good memories. Kind of disappointing that like I said, the 64 DD, they never released it here. There was 9 fucking games, so they never had anything that sort of like.
Well, does it ever bother you that you can't play those 9 games? Like, you want to know what they're like?
Oh, hell yeah.
I always wonder because I see these Japanese games. You can't play them on the PlayStation 2. You need a PlayStation Fuqua.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a Famicom, you know what I mean? Well,
like thing, whatever. That thing they used to fight the Autobots. You need one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like, man, there's some games that came out really good and I never got a chance to play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's gamers out there that are like, oh, there's a way to get it, I'm sure, but the problem is I'm really lazy.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like it's like the GameCube. The GameCube, they released the Q, and
they always made fun of my head saying it's a GameCube.
It's a Q. It was the Q, and it was able to play normal discs. The GameCube was only
I remember that because
and it never came out
Tony Hawk 3 because I like the music on it.
Yeah, it never came out here, and I was waiting for it. And I feel like Nintendo would do shit like that all the time, where they had like this cool stuff, and then it would never come.
Well, we're a big market for them, but we're not. But that's not the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That company has money until 2050.
Even though the Nintendo 64 did really good here, it did not do well in Japan.
What
the 64? It didn't do
well.
They said
the home team didn't want it.
Yeah, this is the reason they said that it was because there was no RPGs. And there wasn't. There wasn't. There was none. Like, there was no RPG games, which was my gigantic fucking problem with the system too.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Because you had Half-Life with somebody else.
Yeah, I was a fucking. I love RPG games, and there was none. And it was like the only thing you had was Ocarina of Time, and I think Forsaken was marketed as an RPG, but I never played it, so I have no idea if it was whatever. Who knows?
Well, happy 20th anniversary.
So happy this fucking airing of grievances, 20 years. Fucking happy birthday, Super Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64.
I like how you're mad at me.
I'm Abe Von Doom.
I'm Billy Bombs.
And thank you for hearing us. This is the Mutant Metal Maniacs signing out from Brooklyn. I don't know why I'm just very, very, very
There was no RPGs for the game.
I know.
You're like, I wasted $200 on this.
Fuck this shit. Happy birthday. Goodbye. You get nothing from me.